The Big Questions, Is There Evidence for God? Part 4 of 4, the Aikenhead YouTube channel. Look, I'm telling you, it's getting heated. This is the last of 4 videos. This is the 4th one. So 3, 2, and 1, you can go back and watch. If you haven't seen it and this is your first one jumping in, it's like a long debate and a back and forth. This is the final part. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you subscribe. Go ahead and like the video now. Let's get YouTube's attention. Drop some comments as you watch along and give me your suggestions by the end of this episode. Let's see what happens, because this is an intense debate discussion going on. Is there any evidence for God?
Right? I believe that.
You can believe in something that isn't true, and it can be a source of great strength. So this is not evidence for the existence of God.
No, I'm not saying it's evidence. I'm not giving evidence here. I'm not giving evidence. I'm telling you of my personal experience and what I believe. I'm not here to prove anything or give evidence.
Everyone on the front bench there is believing in something that is not
true. Everyone over there is believing in something as well. We all believe in something.
Any hands up? Yes, sir. What would you like to say? Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Hi.
I was just going to say 2 points about this evidence, if there's a God here. I was just going to ask, some things exist outside the realms of science and understanding, because we haven't found out about it yet. You know, the planet that was recently found out,
Kepler 22b.
Yeah, it didn't just suddenly magically appear. It always existed, but it just took our time for us to find it. I think God is basically the same thing. It doesn't need our belief or our thinking. He is real. We just have to find him.
Do you think God created... The gentleman there has raised a fascinating point, and I'm going to come to other people in the audience with your hands up. But if there were to be life elsewhere, Kepler 22b or Kepler 22c or wherever, did God create that life as well?
Oh, well, actually,
is he their God too?
Well, C.S. Lewis wrote a very good essay about this called Religion and Rocketry. He goes through all the issues. I think the main concerns of us, for ourselves, are whether there's life out there which is intelligent and which also suffers from original sin, because then we've got problems on our hands if they're more technologically advanced than we are.
Because they're coming to get us.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, I think people naively think if we make more scientific or technical progress, as they imagine advanced civilizations to be, they automatically become better, and that's not necessarily the case. That's where the moral issues come back in.
Right. Okay.
So for my,
Yes. Over here, madam. Yeah. Morning.
I was just going to say, on the point of the Bible and whether it's fictitious or not, whether or not it's fictitious is irrelevant because it's been edited, translated, and as a writer myself, I know how important that is to the meaning of text. Now, meaning can be twisted and convoluted as a form of control. And that's what I kind of believe organised religion is. It's not to say you can't be spiritual, but you can be spiritual without God. I am in awe of the universe. I think it's an amazing place. But why do I need to believe it was created by something?
Well, of course, Mohammed, I know what you're saying. Your eyes are twinkling there. You're going to say that the Bible is edited and stitched together, but you're going to say that the Quran is unaltered.
Absolutely right.
The Word of God.
The Word of God. And it is there.
Dude, it is amazing. Just seeing this happen is amazing.
To prove it isn't. It's very easy to prove that the Bible it's not the Word of God, because at least we have more than one Bible. So they are disputing with each other. While the Quran, excuse me, but while the Quran,
the word of anybody,
it says in it many times, this is the Word of God, and prove it is not. It has
I got a whole damn series coming out to show you how human this damn book is.
Contradiction.
Okay, Kay wants to have a go at the Quran, and I wish her good luck. But first of all, all right, okay, finish your point.
Yeah. The Quran is the only book in the world that says this is the book of God. By the way, the Bible doesn't say that. It says this is the book of God. Has it not been from God, it would have had many contradictions and discrepancies.
It has tons. Yeah.
That's what it says. Has it not been from God, it would have had many discrepancies and contradictions.
Have loads of discrepancies and contradictions.
Only God, as an author, can say this. And no other human can claim this, because once you find one mistake in it, and when you find contradiction, that you have broken the link there. But then we have the book of God, and then
it's so kind of dumb, doesn't it? Sound so kind of dumb. I'm sorry, it is. It just sounds dumb.
Describes himself and tells a lot of things. So
a book says that it's the book of God. It's the book of God. Your book doesn't say it's the book of God. My book says it's the book of God. Even though your book does say that it's the law of God, it's giving revelation of God, it doesn't say it's the book of God. This has to be saying that it's the book of God for it to be the book of God.
So far, we have found nothing wrong with this book.
There should be no... We have found nothing wrong with this book. We have found nothing wrong.
Okay, sorry, let me...
Guy, first of all.
Go on, Guy. Two mistakes in the Quran. Number one, the Trinity does not include the Virgin Mary. And number two, Mary, the mother of Jesus, is not the same person as Miriam, the sister of Aaron. That's just two mistakes. There's loads and loads of
also, I just want to come back on this thing. I'm sorry, let me jump in. What you're saying, Mohammed, is that if we cannot find a contradiction in the Quran, then it's true. Well, I can't find any contradictions in Harry Potter. I can't find any contradictions in the Lord of the Rings. It doesn't mean they're true, does it?
No.
Also, it says, does it not say, this is what some people like, it says at one point, there should be no compulsion in religion, and later on it says, kill all people who are guilty of apostasy. Which is right.
No, the Quran does not say that.
Adam.
It does not say kill people who apostate. The Quran does not say that.
Yes, it does.
No, that's
9:5, is it?
Come on, let's be...
Was it 9:39?
Let's be civilized and be academic here. It does not say kill people who apostatize. The verse is talking about fighting are to do with what we call a justified war theory. It's when you're under attack, you're allowed to defend yourself and to invade
what about apostates?
Invade into countries where people are being oppressed. If you want to talk about violence in the Quran. Now, those contradictions that you mention, I've named me one academic, one scholar of Islamic studies that says that is the case. I've not heard anyone.
You clearly don't listen to Western critical scholarship on the Quran. There's a ton of stuff like this that's odd, weird, definitely problematic. You're a Muslim listening only to apologists on your side, I can guarantee you. So no wonder you find no problem with your book. It's like Christians when you ask them, fundamentalists, hey, do you find any problems with the Bible? Of course they don't find problems with their book.
Who are non-Muslim?
Hold on, but do you accept that if you had been born in Kerala, you'd probably be Hindu?
Yes. Probably.
Exactly. So you could be having the same argument now about
Again, that's a genetic fallacy.
About the Hindu texts and so on. One of the big problems that religions have is their mutual exclusivity. We've already seen some aspects of it. If your book is literally true, his book cannot be. His belief cannot be, the Hindu belief cannot be, and the Buddhist is talking nonsense.
That's a flawed argument.
No, it's hardly a flawed argument.
That's actually a flawed argument.
It's not a flawed argument, because what it shows is how we create different religions that suits us at different times. What about the Book of Mormon? The Book of Mormon has no internal contradictions. Fairly recently created. Joseph Smith had the same kind of visitation, except even more so. He could discern the golden writing on the golden plate wearing a special pair of spectacles, which from behind a screen, he would then dictate to somebody else who took down the Book of Mormon. Mormonism is one of the fastest growing religions in the world.
So you're saying that a diversity
it's better written than the Quran.
By the way, it was in a hat with a seer stone, so just being more accurate here.
Loads of books that are better written than the Quran. The Quran says it's a miraculous
Harry Potter, you said?
It really is not.
You'll go viral with that if you're not careful. I did say come to be honest. Gentleman at the back, good morning.
Good morning. I think the majority of the debate has been based around the fact that the front row here is looking at arguments why, God might not exist.
What's your evidence for God?
The way I see it, we assume that we need empirical evidences for God. Empirical evidences don't suggest that, we can have a God without there being empirical evidence for him.
Okay.
That would assume that, you can either definitely believe in God or you can't.
Well, that's an abnegation of the intellect.
He says that. Peter says that's an abnegation of the intellect. Yes, so what would you like to say?
This debate's been set up very cleverly to almost caricature this old-fashioned sense that science is rational, and over here on the front row we have a group of irrational people.
This is a rational scientist who believes in God. He's one of the top physicists in the country.
I know, but
he
also nodded when I said that there is an attempt, in a sense, to caricature belief as irrational. Now, there is a difference between saying that something is irrational and non-rational. And you opened the show, Nicky, with a reference to the Higgs and boson Higgs particle. And there is no evidence for that. And yet there is a great deal of belief within the scientific community that it exists. And I'm happy with that. And science enriches my life greatly, as does religion. And there is a sense of harmony in both of these things. And actually, it worries me. It worries me greatly that the question, is there evidence that God exists, is using a piece of terminology, that being evidence, from the realm of science in a debate, which also includes God. It's a bit like trying to ask a cricket umpire to apply the rules of cricket to a game of football.
But what is the alternative? The alternative is simply a discussion of assertion. You simply say, I believe it, my belief is my belief, it's equally valid to anybody else's belief, there we are, end of discussion, we all go about. Is that really the way in which we begin to kind of settle out the big intellectual questions? I think not.
But there is not a richness in actually sitting and shouting very loud.
That's a different matter. Let's not shout. Let's discuss. But
it's all very civil. You should have last week's show was shouting. This is very, very civilised.
There has been caricatures.
Isn't there?
Yeah, I think you're right. There's a danger of just being subjective. I say, you say, and so on. It's interesting the account of Peter Hitchens, the brother of Christopher Hitchens, describing his conversion back to Christianity. And he went to the Soviet Union. And what was very interesting is looking at a society where atheism had been around for 60, 70 years. And what he noticed was a lack of empathy in everyday life. There was a lack of care. And that he began to realise what a belief in God can do for society over centuries. What happens when that's taken out?
Communism was a form of religion. I was brought up by communist parents, and Marxism was equally structured as a system of beliefs that explained all the world. Actually claimed to be scientific socialism, we called it. It explained the world to each other and so on. The Soviet Union had millions of people in it who, in a sense, were religious.
Yeah, and Carl, you tried to find God. You grew up. You had polio when you were a little boy. You lost your hand in a motorcycle accident. You tried to find God. You went to Lourdes. He wasn't there, was he, for you?
I've seen no evidence for God. I've seen no evidence in my life. I've seen no evidence today. But we have seen something of the Higgs boson last week, by the way.
No, we haven't got time.
I could flick a coin.
No, go on.
I had a serious motorcycle accident in 1969. Previous to that, I had polio. I've been to Lourdes. I've seen all the crutches hanging up in Lourdes. I went on a whole train load of disabled people to Lourdes when I was 10 years old. Didn't do much for me, obviously. What astounded me was nobody was cured, and nobody subsequently, since I've been to Lourdes, has had a cure. I doubt anyone ever had a cure at Lourdes. It's just a sham. The whole idea of Lourdes is it's just about money. Religion is a lot about money. I've only once prayed for God. I had an accident at 9:10 on a Monday morning. The ambulance crew swore blind I was dead. They took me to hospital. I was on the table for 9 hours. On Wednesday, if you like, I rose again on the third day. On Thursday, I was in severe agony. So much pain, I did once ask for God. Only once.
Was he there?
I only ever asked for anything once in my life, and he didn't do anything for me.
This is the thing, Stephen. This is the thing. What about those people who ask for God again and again?
Oh, dude, that is so deep. Reminds me of my biologist teacher in high school, Mr. Pope. I asked him why he didn't believe in God, because he openly said this in school, at a public school, that he was a biologist, evolution is the case, and of course he doesn't believe God exists. And I saw him at a gym when we were in the locker room, and I asked him, I said, hey, why? Why don't you believe in God? And he said, well, my daughter got an illness, an infection, a bacteria in her nose that was eating her face inside out, a bacteria. And I prayed to God, if you will just save my daughter, if you will keep her from dying, protect her, don't let this happen to her, I'll worship you and I'll follow you for the rest of my life. Like, I'll know you're real even, right? Because he doesn't even believe he's real. He's not convinced. But more so, he's desperate. And God never answered his prayer. And it's just crazy. People trying to shove this shit down your throat, telling you theirs is right, it's the truth, you need to believe it or you're going to go to hell. And it's like, dude, you can't even help someone's child if there is a God. So the kind of responsibility, if there is a God, makes this God horrific. It's just not a good deity. It doesn't look like this is a good thing in this world. And if there is a God, and there's a reason that justifies it somehow that he didn't involve himself, he should be understanding as the omniscient, all-powerful, mighty God that he is, that when you die, he'll go, yeah, welcome. There was a reason I didn't do that. But it's okay, you're here. Not punish you. This is such human nonsense, is what it sounds like.
Out there. Well, this is part of the problem. If there's an expectation that God is going to zap suddenly somebody and say, wow, you're going to have lots of pain today, zap, you're going to be healed today, then we've got back to this notion of God as an old man in the sky with superpowers.
Yeah, like the Bible tells us, like the Word of God, that your entire faith is ultimately spanning back to the Hebrew Bible tradition, biblical tradition, New Testament text. All of this stuff is rooted in the Word of God. So yeah, if you go back to that and you see how often he interacts and intervenes and is active in the world, you're the one who's blind and not seeing that activity take place in the pages of these texts.
And actually, what we've been talking about today is actually, from as far as I'm concerned, about a God who's much more to do with that ultimate reality of that sense of awe, that sense of transcendence, that sense of truth and beauty and goodness and love, which is sometimes missing in people's lives.
And then what do you do with all the bad? What do you do with all the horror, the horrific, nasty, disgusting? What's this guy do with that? Well, we don't give that to God.
People on this side maybe have found that and want to identify it as God.
Do you think maybe on that side they found it, but they don't recognize it?
On that side, they choose to say, rubbish. But even they've acknowledged that there is there's something about awe and wonder in their lives too. Great, but they don't identify it as God. Let's agree.
I'm afraid we are at the very end. Can you all applaud each other for a pretty civilized affair?
Okay, we're at the end. What did you think about this 4-part series? I've never seen this. Interesting discussions, wild stuff. Comment down below. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear your thoughts. Also comment reactions. Tell me some reactions, good ones, please, that I can react to. Subscribe, hit the bell, hit all, like the video, share it out there. And until next time, see you then.